Broadcasts of the City of Neenah Common Council meetings are produced by University Studios of the University of Wisconsin-Fox Valley. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents via the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues or about these broadcasts by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or by completing the electronic feedback form on the city website, www.neenahgov.org. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited for playback.
Good evening and welcome. I'd like to call to order the City of Neenah Common Council meeting for Wednesday, September 21st, 2022. Our clerk will call the roll.
Alderperson Boyette.
Here.
Orchard. Here. Hillstrom.
Here.
Lundrum.
Here.
Erickson.
Here.
Weber.
Here.
Skirms.
Here.
Steiner.
Here.
And Stevenson.
Here.
Thank you. Alderman Erickson will lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible.
The first item on the agenda was brought to my attention by Alderman Boyette, and she asked that we do a Constitution Week proclamation. So I will read that. City of Neenah, Wisconsin, Constitution Week 2022 proclamation. Whereas September 17th, 2022 marks the 235th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is fitting and proper to officially recognize this magnificent document and the anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion, and whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week, now therefore I, Jane B. Lang, Mayor of the City of Neenah, do hereby proclaim September 17th through the 23rd, 2022, to be Constitution Week, and urge all citizens to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involves. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the City of Neenah on this 17th day of September 2022. Thank you, Alderman Boyette, for bringing that to my attention and encouraging us to do that. The next item on the agenda is introduction confirmation of mayor's appointments. Is there any objection to unanimous consent of those appointments? Seeing none, that is so ordered. The next item on the agenda is approval of the council proceedings. Is there any objection to unanimous consent of approval of the council proceedings of September 7th, 2022? Seeing none, that is so ordered. Next item on the agenda is the public forum. Is there anyone here present in the council chambers who would like to speak during the public forum? Is there anyone who would like to speak? Seeing no one, we will move on to our next item, which will be item number 7, reports of standing committees. Regular Public Services and Safety Committee meeting of September 13th, 2022. Chairperson Lundrum.
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting out from the regular Public Services and Safety Committee meeting of September 13th, 2022, and the minutes can be found on the city website. Item number 1, committee recommends council approve Clark Deeds Incorporated as the civil engineer for the Police Department Building Expansion Project in the amount of $18,600, pending the review by city attorney and using 2022 CIP building funds. And I would so move.
There's a motion by Alderman Lendrum, seconded by Alderman Borchert. Is there any discussion on this item? Any questions? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
Item number 2, committee recommends council approved, previously discussed, the agreement for cost reimbursement with Galloway Company on the Harrison Street Stormwater Pond. And I also so move on that one.
Alderman Lendrum makes that motion, seconded by Alderman Hillstrom. Is there any discussion on that item? Alderman Lendrum.
Thank you, Mayor. Can we just change, this is just housekeeping, can we just change on the MOU and the minutes to have it read the Neenah Creek instead of the Neenah Slough? Director Kaiser.
I will mention that to the city attorney.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Alderman Boyette.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to give a shout out to the Galloway Corporation for working hand in hand with the city on this project, and just to let the public know that we have some wonderful people that do business in our community and work well with the city, and this is just one example. And so I just wanted to give a shout out.
Thank you for that. Any other concerns or questions? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
Item number 3, committee recommends council approve the revocable occupancy permit to Lynn and Kyle Tanger, 157 North Park Avenue for a sump pump line and irrigation system facilities located within the Lakeshore Avenue right-of-way, and I would so move.
There's a motion by Lendrum, seconded by Alderman Hillstrom. Is there any discussion? Alderman Skirms.
Just a question, do all the properties on Lake Shore have similar permits?
We have acquired them on a couple of the properties that we had to deal with their facilities during the road construction.
Yeah,
I'm sure there are others out there that we don't have this for, but we made it a point at that time to try to acquire these as we learned where these things were.
okay. Thank you.
Alderman Steiner.
I know that as part of this, we have the right to remove it, right, if there was some type of construction or something that we had to do in the area. Does that add any significant cost on our end if we were to have to remove that later on? Is it very difficult?
Our expectation with this is that that would be a property owner cost.
Okay.
If it had to be moved or removed. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any further questions? Seeing none, please cast your vote on your voting device. That motion passes 9-0.
And that's the end of my report.
Thank you for your report. The regular Finance and Personnel Committee meeting of September 12th was canceled. The regular Plan Commission meeting of September 13th was also canceled. So the next item on the agenda is the Board of Public Works meeting of September 14th. Vice Chairman Hillstrom.
Thank you, Mayor. The Board of Public Works met on September 14th. Minutes from that meeting can be found on the city website. There are 2 informational items this evening. The first one, the board approved pay request number 4, contract 2-22, sanitary, water services, and street construction, Beekoff Street and Grove Street to Donald Hippis and Sons Incorporated, Little Chute, in the amount of $221,709.88. Item B, the board approved pay request number 2, contract 3-22, street construction on Apple Blossom Drive, Frederick Drive, Green Acres Lane, Honeysuckle Lane, Meadow Lane, Primrose Lane, Wild Rose Lane, Blueberry Lane, Cherry Lane, Farm Ridge Drive, Fresh Air Park, Southview Park Basketball Court, the northeast asphalt of Greenville, an amount of $899,365.94. And that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. Is there anything from the CDA?
Just very quickly, the CDA will meet here, I believe, in November. That's our next meeting. One of the items that we're going to be looking at is Donaldson's cleaners on West Cecil Street. We've been working on that for some time, have had liability clarification from the DNR. We've also had some outside legal assistance in reviewing that letter, have a little bit of follow-up to do with DNR yet, and then most likely would move forward with negotiating an acquisition there. So there'll be more action required of council to do that, but it should be coming up here in the near future. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you for your report. Alderman Erickson, is there a report from the library board?
Thank you, Mayor. The Neenah Library Board of Trustees met tonight at this afternoon at 4 o'clock. There are just a couple of items I'd like to highlight. Programming is going well at the Neenah Library, and circulation is doing very well. The speed puzzling event, which was held the last time in spring, is scheduled to be held in November, and registration is opening on October 1st for that event. So if you're interested in that, check that out. Also, tonight at the board meeting, the board voted to adopt the internet policies from walls, and so that we don't have duplicate policies. And that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. Alderman Erickson, is there a report from the Neenah Arts Council?
Yes, the Neenah Arts Council met on Wednesday, September 14th, and several of the Neenah Arts Council members participated in the Neenah Menasha Boys and Girls Club, Boys and Girls Brigade open house on September 15th. Plans are currently underway for our participation in the Very Neenah Christmas event, and we are starting preliminary discussions on the Neenah Sesquicentennial Photo Contest. And that concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. Item number 9 on the agenda is presentation of petitions, and there is one petition, Annexation 227, petition for direct annexation pursuant to Section 66.0223, Wisconsin statutes, where all property is owned by the City of Neenah for part of Lot 2, CSM 5779, Wooden Shoe Road, Town of Vinland. Is there a motion to forward this item on to the appropriate committees?
I'll make that motion.
Alderman Boyette makes that motion, seconded by Alderman Skirms. Alderman Stevenson?
Yeah, thank you. This is like new ground for the city, so it's not often we own property that's not in the city that gets annexed. So I'm just curious if council approval to request annexation from the council would be needed. The city's proactively asking for this, but the council hasn't voted on it yet.
Right.
I may be splitting hairs there.
Right, so we're just recommending it go to committee at this
I
point for
understand.
discussion.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Are there any further comments or questions on this? This is, again, just a motion to refer this petition to the appropriate committees. That would be Plan Commission and Finance and Personnel. Seeing no other questions, please cast your vote on your voting device.
Oh, I can't.
It's not,
There we go. Thank you. That motion passes 9-0. Are there any council directives at this time? Any unfinished business? Seeing none, we have the Arrowhead Park Development Status Report from Alderman Hillstrom under new business.
Thank you, Mayor. The Arrowhead Park Development Task Force meeting was held on September 13th, and that was for the third time. Just to let the aldermen know who here tonight is on that committee. I just read off some of that. So in attendance was Mayor Jane Lang, Director of Parks and Recreation Michael Kading, Director of Community Development and Assessments Chris Hayes, Deputy Director of Finance Andy Call, Alderman Skirms, several members from the Fox Cities groups and businesses, and myself were there in attendance. Most of our discussion from their second meeting centered on a restaurant being there or some type of food facility. So guests were invited, which John Horan, owner of Town Council Restaurant in downtown Neenah, and Ryan Batley from Best Western Premier, Bridgewood Resort and Hotel was also there. And so they were given some questions to come with ideas, and we had a lengthy discussion. There's normally go an hour and a half. We went over 2 hours, and there was a great discussion going on about what they thought would work there. They both thought a restaurant on a second level overlooking the lake would be a fantastic opportunity. We talked about food court type facility, whether it's for trucks or individual areas. Talked about parking. It was strongly recommended that we keep Neenah the way it is with the downtown and not bring in a national chain if that's possible. They like the mix of where it is. Music facilities would be a large draw, as would the 1,000 people a day we average using the trail there. And that would most likely increase with the continued development of the park. They talked about possibly a few rental shops in the amphitheater, how that could bring more people there, and kayak and boat, paddleboard, whatever. And talked about how in this market you need to be able to differentiate yourself from other businesses, which downtown Neenah is very successful in. So also bringing in the people that are doing the downtown plan and bringing them into the discussion on it. So the next meeting will be currently scheduled for October 4th, but that may change. The email I got today. That concludes my report.
Thank you for your report. Are there any other announcements or questions that could legally come before the council?
move to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned.
Broadcasts of the City of Neenah Common Council meetings are produced by University Studios of the University of Wisconsin Fox Valley. Neenah residents can get information about City Council meetings, City Committee meetings, meeting agendas, and other documents via the City website, www.neenahgov.org. Neenah residents can express their opinions about city issues or about these broadcasts by contacting the mayor's office, contacting their city alderman, or by completing the electronic feedback form on the city website, www.neenahgov.org. All public portions of the meetings are recorded in entirety and are not edited for playback.